time to go back into the museum. And as I said last time, we will be starting in to some of the exhibit rooms.
Select a game from the register.
Same one as usual. Okay. Now, first place we're going to head to is right behind the door here, and brace yourselves. I'll admit, first time I entered this room, I got a little freaked out. Yeah, I'm a bit of an arachnophobe. And let's face it, when you see this thing, you probably will freak out. Now, there's a few things to take note in here, and this room is one of a few that has 2 Ixupi hiding spots in it. In fact, is that an iron horse or unicorn? Hard to tell from the unicorn. The unicorn, found in many cultures, is theorized to have existed at one time but is now extinct. Marco Polo wrote about having seen unicorns in the area that is now Russia. This bronze metal statue was found buried in a tomb in Greece. Yep, and it's bronze, which means that the metal Ixupi can be found in this one from time to time. Big starfish. 4 miles under the ocean surface, while searching through the sunken wreckage of the British vessel HMS Whitmore, this rare specimen of the starfish, profundable, was claimed to have been found. It was wrapped around the skull of one of the members of the crew. Oh, I do hope they meant by the deceased members of the crew and not the crew of the searching the wreckage. Big fish. This large spider is the Theraphossae leblondi, or the bird-eating spider. Yeah, they do get that big. Let's turn back over here. Look at that big thing there. Let's see. Tusks. Door to another room. I hear Ixupi. See, weighing 2 tons, this nest, built by a pair of bald eagles in Georgia, is by no means the largest known nest. The nests of the mallee fowl of Australia are much larger, weighing over 10 times as much. That's a big nest. And speaking of a big nest, if you remember, and we'll go back to the flashback. Care to
refresh your memory?
Because you can do that. Museum brochure. Finding those exhibits. We need a blue skull there. So let's make sure that's blue. Now, these are a unique puzzle. You have to set all of these to advance to the final room in the museum. And it's set on green. Yellow. Red. And there's blue. Push the button, locks it in. Alright, we've set that. You know, we didn't do one thing when we entered this room.
From a 60-foot giant squid that can pull a small fishing boat into the depths of the sea, to the two-inch poisonous dart frog that carries enough poison to kill 1,500 people. Nothing is stranger than the animal kingdom. Is it anyone that the ancients worship and fear these strange beasts?
Yes, and the giant squid in question has actually been confirmed to exist. If you ever watched Monster Quest, you would have seen that. You notice the dinosaurs here. You hear it? There's the Ash Ixupi right in there. One of two spots you can find it. The other spot you could be guaranteed to catch him in, and you need to catch him in that spot, at least. What we have here. Found in a tar pit in Turkey were the bones of an unusual animal that baffled paleontologists. They decided the bones were from three animals: the wings of a pterodactyl, the body of a saber-toothed tiger, and the head of a raptor. Never once did they consider the obvious, that it was a griffin, written about in ancient literature and now extinct. And no, its name isn't Merv. Okay, let us head in here.
You have stepped into the world of amazing plants. For centuries, plants have been used to beautify man's surroundings, for food, shelter, and to heal the sick. And like Socrates, who was executed by drinking poison hemlock, man has discovered plants have a lethal side too.
Yeah, they do. And this is one room you were able to see from the outside. The place wants to give us a high five. And we have, of course, right over here. Various vessels in that. Pots and right here. The Ash Ixupi's hiding spot. Or, I should say, containment. We'll come back for this in a little bit. Model of one of the ancient, I think, Incan or Mayan cities. Potted plant. At least that's good to know. Another potted plant. More pots. And, of course, a pile of sand. Yeah. Sand Ixupi can be found right there from time to time. Not much else in this room. Although, personally, if you really want to see impressive plants, I personally recommend Longwood Gardens. Look it up on YouTube or on Google. It's a very lovely place. Okay, back into the strange beasts. Okay. The tar Ixupi has moved. Oh. Forgot he dropped that. We saw him do that. Shake well before using. Nothing. Good. Okay. And now we've seen strange beasts, we've seen strange plants. Let's go underwater. The mysteries of the deep, and this is a nice room for puzzles.
You are now entering the unfathomable depths of the sea, where countless ships have sunk, taking with them untold riches. The wisdom known only to the ancients may also reside here, in the lost city of Atlantis.
Ah, yes, the mystery of Atlantis lingers on and on for many years. Still lingers on today. And there are a few little items in here. I hear an Ixupi again. Let's see. Poseidon, son of Zeus. Wrong. Brother of Hades. Correct. The Greek god of seas and water was also the patron god of Atlantis. Possibly, earthquakes and tidal waves were attributed to this turbulent sea god, who is known to the Romans as Neptune. Well, this is one of the few inconsistencies in their information. Poseidon was brother to both Zeus and Hades. I think Poseidon was the middle brother of the three. Zeus was the youngest child. Hades, I believe, was the oldest brother. He was the firstborn, I believe, of the boys. And no, it has nothing here about that famous son of Poseidon, Perseus Jackson. But he's holding something very important here. Now, were you paying attention earlier? You have to set this puzzle to the location, or possible location, of Atlantis. Nope, wrong way. Going by memory on this one. When you're right, it automatically switches. There we go. And what will we find here? Well, two very important things. We'll get to that in a second. Poseidon's Temple. Poseidon's Temple was the spiritual and governmental center of Atlantis. I don't know about governmental. I think it would be considered sacrilegious to do any government business in the Temple of the Gods. This replica, built entirely out of sand, was patterned after Plato's description in his books Critias and Timaeus. Have to look those names up, see if those actually exist. And what we have right here. Colossus of Rhodes. One of the 7 wonders of the world, the Colossus of Rhodes was built to honor Helios, the Greek sun god. More like Sun Titan. The legs of the giant statue span the city harbor, so that ships could pass beneath it. The 100 20-foot bronze statue was toppled by an earthquake in 226 BC. I hope there were no ships underneath it at the time. Okay. And there's something right there. Now, first off, we've got a nice scroll here, which is important because now you have a map of the place. Now, from here we can tell we have been in the workshop, the museum office, the library, that passageway there, the theater, the projection room up there, stairway to tower, and of course the main entrance, which we saw from outside. Amazing plants right over here, strange beasts right here. So when we get done in these little areas, we'll be going up to tombs and curses. Maybe venture into this secret passage. But the natural path is to go from tombs of curses up to here, down here to the funeral rites, into the shaman exhibit, into this massive exhibit of gods and religious items. Over here to myths and legends. And here's the janitor's room. We'll go up the steps here. Or you could take these paths, find this little room here, which we will find in due time, because it's important. Oh, these passage goes up here. To the planetarium, where the space exhibits. To strange inventions. And then over to man's inhumanity to man. Or, as some people might want to call it, the playroom. And then into the puzzle room. Now, not sure about this, by the way. Stairway to the tower. Now here's the 4th floor. This the elevator comes from, of course, from the office elevator. Bedroom and study, clock tower room. With the clock on top, on the front. And then the basement. Now, mechanical room, power room, where the generator is. I guess furnace here. This is where we are, the mysteries of the deep room. And there is something right here behind the Colossus of Rhodes, which will lead down to a maze and lead over to the subterranean world. And then a pathway up here, which will take us back to the main hall. Now you know the layout of the place. And what is this that we have here? Let's see. I don't remember what symbol that is. Let's look at the flashback.
Care to refresh your memory?
Of course. We always need to refresh our memory. South American pictographs. Not fire. Not rain, water. Not beeswax, not ashes, not thunder or lightning. Not reeds or cloth. Not metalwork. Not the tree, not crystal. Ah, sand. Odd, we come across the sand one, and the Sand Ixupi is hiding out in here. But that can wait. Always it can wait. Pipe organ. Now, what we got here? Sirens. In Greek mythology, the sirens were huge birds with women's faces who lured sailors onto dangerous rocks by their sweet singing. The only man to ever hear their singing and live was Odysseus, who had his men tie him to the mast so he would not jump into the rocks to join them. The Argonauts were saved from the sirens by the musician Orpheus, who drowned their singing with music from his lyre, which was more beautiful still. Do you dare listen to the siren song? Of course, because it's important. Believe it or not, having the text on lets you see those notes, otherwise you have to rely on your memory. And why? Well, I already showed you could play this. Colossus of Rhodes has opened, has moved. And if you look, let's move over there. Turn, forward, turn. That will lead us to the underground part. But we're holding off on that because that's a trek in and of itself. One last exhibit. Oh, how sneaky. We got two in here. Step forward. Power crystals. Edward Casey, one of America's most renowned psychics, gave a description of an instrument made of quartz crystals, with which the Atlanteans harnessed the energy of the sun's rays. Unable to control the power of this machine, they eventually blew themselves up. I do not know how true that is, but yes, Edward Casey was one of the famous psychics, known as the Sleeping Prophet. Apparently he diagnosed many conditions while asleep. Well, I say that's enough here, but we're going to do a little something now. We've wandered around a bit now. And something tells me the Ash Ixupi is in... Yep, in the Unicorn. Let's go back. Oh, something we should take note of here before we go in there. This ladder will take you up and let you see inside the nest, and believe it or not, The Ixupi have been known to bring a vessel here if you try and use it on the wrong one. One of their alternative hiding spaces. Let's go in here. Sand one's right over there. Let's grab that. Now, if everything plays out nicely here, oh, they're both in here now. Now, if things work right here, oh good, he's in here. Oh, I missed this note earlier. September 17th, 1980. My dearest Jeffrey, I was deeply gratified to receive your letter. After 8 years, I was afraid you would never forgive me. Your letter, however, gave me hope that I might once again be part of your life. You may not be aware of this, but your mother felt it best that I distance myself from you. She was perhaps correct. When I first dreamed of the museum, you were to be a part of it. 20 years have passed, and it is still incomplete. I do feel, however, with the Siegfried Schwartz acquisition and an upcoming trip to Zimbabwe, my collection will be complete. Please come view the museum and tell me what you think. Yours is the one opinion I treasure most in all the... Yeah, he didn't complete that letter. Okay. And you see the complete pot. Bullhead and everything. And now... Curse you middling kids. And it joins the ranks right here. So now anything where the Ash Ixupi might have hidden in is safe. So let's get into position. And next time around, we'll start on the second floor exhibits. And I hope you've enjoyed this time around. Time we save the game like always. And you have a good night. Next time around, we will start going through the second floor exhibits, as I said. And maybe we'll go into the secret passages there too.
Goodbye.